Charles Oliveira just absolutely dominated. Well, I say just last night, but absolutely dominated Max Holloway to win the BMF title last night at UFC 326, and I'm gonna break down the fight now. Say what I think each guy should do next and all that stuff. So we'll start with Charles. I was wrong. I was very wrong. I thought Max was gonna knock out Charles. I thought Charles was too old, like in his career, taking too much damage, knocked out last year by Ilia badly. Was talking about retirement before this fight, and I just thought I just thought he was gonna get knocked out. I thought Max was gonna show levels, and it was wrong. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Charles was one who showed levels. The grappling was just too much for Max. Max's takedown defense, it looked okay at times, but as soon as Charles was able to get him down, well, it didn't even look okay at times. It looked okay like one time in the entire fight. I know it says 5 of 13 here. That makes that makes the takedown defense of Max look way better than it actually was, because Charles was getting him down with ease, especially those early rounds. Later on, it was a bit tougher for him. Max was able to stop him a bit, but those first, I think, 3 rounds, as soon as Charles got a hold of him, he was down. And it was just levels fight the entire time. Charles threatening submissions that whole time. I know it only says, again, it says only 4 here. Realistically, there was like 8 separate occasions where at least he kind of had one. I think they only class a sub attempt as on the stats, like when the guy's basically fully locked it in and the other guy manages to escape. Because there was way more than 4 occasions where Charles had a choke and it was kind of locked in, or he had it across the face of Max, across his jaw, whatever. And Max did show good submission defense. He was stopping, well, obviously he lasted the decision. He was stopping every sub attempt from Charles, but on the ground he was just getting dominated. And on the feet as well. Max landed like one good shot in the first 20 seconds of the fight, and then outside of that, he didn't really land much. He would land a couple shots at the start of every round, and then just immediately Charles would get a hold of him and just manage to take him down. And from there it was just wraps, because he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get Charles off him. He couldn't land anything proper. He was getting tagged up, and Charles just showed levels. I was not expecting it at all. A lot of people who were picking Charles, even then, they weren't picking him to win like that, you know. A lot of people who were picking Charles said it would be like a random club and sub or something. In a crazy exchange, he'd catch Max. Maybe he'd be able to get him down and sub him early. That I wouldn't have been as surprised by. I'm more surprised that he was just repeatedly able to take him down and dominate him on the ground. And just Max have nothing to give back to Charles, nothing to make Charles worried, nothing to properly hurt him. And yeah, you can see at the end, Max was like, you see how frustrated he was. He just couldn't do anything. He was saying in the corner as well, like Charles didn't feel strong, whilst also coming off a round where he got taken down in the first 30 seconds and just couldn't do anything, couldn't get up. So I don't know what was going on there. You can see at the end, it was kind of funny how Max all the fight week was like, you know, the point down brother. That sounded more like Bryce Mitchell. But how the person who's winning the fight can only do the point down and all that, and then in the last 10 seconds he ends up pointing down himself and then getting tagged and nearly and rocked again. So that was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Charles looked really good. He needs to just keep having kids. I tweeted this out last night. Every time he has a kid, he just goes on a crazy run. I know he lost to Ilia. Also, how fucking good is Ilia? We'll talk about that later. But every time he has a kid, he just becomes an absolute fucking monster. He had a kid the first time, and he went on like a 11 fight win streak and became champ. And he had a kid again last year and just destroyed Gamrot and now dominated Max. So I don't know what's going on there. He needs to just keep doing that. That should be his new game plan. Fuck a training camp, just have another kid. And he's going to be fighting. I don't think he'll be fighting for the belt next. I think he will fight Arman again in a rematch, which I think would be a sick fight. The first fight was close, and to be fair, it looks like both guys have gotten better, not just Arman. I know Arman's the younger guy and he's making more, you'd assume he's making more improvements between each fight, but Charles is just getting better at 36 years old and after having a career with the amount of damage he's taken, so that's kind of crazy to see. I do think they should retire the BMF belt now after this fight. Doesn't really seem like there's any point keeping it around. They've already been picking and choosing which fights it gets defended in. Like Masvidal won it and he didn't defend it a single time, even though Usman slumped him out. Then Gaethje won it and he defended against Max. But then after Max won it, he didn't have to then defend it against Ilia. And now we've got Ilia and Charles fighting for it. No, we've got Max and Charles fighting for it when both of them got knocked out by Ilia in the last 18 months. So I don't know what's going on there. I think they should retire it. Everyone online is saying the same thing now, which I've been saying for years. So that's kind of funny to see. There's no point keeping it around. Because even then, like, if Charles does fight Arman next, which I do think he will, they're not going to put it on the line there. You know, do you think they want Arman Sarukian headlining the card for a BMF title fight? No chance. And especially after this fight, when it wasn't the most entertaining, I think they are going to then just retire it. It was cool for, like, maybe 2 fights. I guess the Max and Gaethje, that was fine, but I don't know. After that, it just kind of became an excuse for them to have a title fight on the card so they could sell a pay-per-view, because Dana doesn't like doing his fucking job. But yeah, I think they should get rid of that. As for what's next, oh yeah, we'll talk about Ilia first. How fucking good is Ilia? Literally less than a year ago, he dominated Charles and knocked him out in the round. Not even just on the feet. He reversed Charles, got on top of him, passed guard, and put him in a crucifix, while being way smaller and probably not as strong as Charles. And we just saw what Charles did to Max and Gamrot, who's a pure grappler and one of the best in the division. So I don't think anyone's ever beaten Ilia. I was already picking Ilia to beat Arman when they eventually fight. Now, well, they might not even fight anymore. If Arman has to fight Charles again, I could see him losing that for sure. But now I'm picking him even more. Fuck, Ilia beats Islam at 170. I was always on the side that Islam would win at 170, but now I don't even know. This fucking little midget is just the best fighter of all time, apparently. But yeah, Charles dominates Max. As for what's next, Connor's tweeting that he wants to fight Charles. I would take that. That would be pretty sick, especially on the International Fight Week, where the crowd, I don't know, the crowd last night was shit as well, but where the crowd would be hyped because, you know, Connor's comeback after what, it'd be 5 years at that point against Charles, and if they did put the BMF title on the line, that would be hyped. But I do think he's going to end up fighting Arman. I don't know what's going to happen with Connor. I do want to see Connor come back, but I don't know if Dana actually wants it anymore, which is weird. He also had that thing with John Jones last night. I'm going to talk about that in another video later. But, yeah, so for Charles, it's either got to be Arman or Connor. I don't think they can justify giving him Ilia again unless he wins another fight. As for Max, I have no idea. He's probably going to take a little bit of time off. He didn't take a crazy amount of damage. So I think he's going to come back this year, obviously. I reckon he'll come back maybe like on the MSG card, maybe, or usually he's a main event, so I doubt he'll be on that card. But maybe they do him in a 3-rounder. I think he should fight. If Ruffy beats Chandler, obviously that fight got announced for the White House, then I think Ruffy versus Max would be a sick fight. I don't know who else it could be, really. Obviously, he's not going to fight Gaethje. If Gaethje loses, he's going to retire. Hooker's coming off a loss. They're not going to do him versus Benoit after last night. So I do think Ruffy would make sense if he beats Chandler. Even if Chandler wins, they'll probably just give that fight to him anyway, just because it's a big name. But I don't know. It's going to be a while to see him back anyway. I'll make a video in a couple of days matching up every guy on the card. But yeah, Charles dominates Max, proves me wrong. This always happens. Whenever I'm really confident in a guy, they lose. And I made a whole entire separate video saying that I think Max is going to beat Charles. I've never done anything like that before, like even on Twitter or anything. And then this happens, he gets dominated. Maybe I should just reverse it. Maybe I should make a video talking about how Emmett's going to destroy Vallejos this weekend. So then Vallejos wins, because he's one of my favourites. But, fuck knows. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll do one for Yuri and Olberg. Try curse Olberg, get Yuri the dub. But, yeah. Charles dominates Max for 5 whole rounds. And, yeah, I'm not going to talk about the rest of the card in this video, because it was shit. Hopefully after last night, they actually start trying again to put better cards on. I know the next one's pretty sick, and 328 is looking pretty good right now, but last night was sucked. Like, just go through it real quick. I'm not going to break down the fights, but Co-main was mid. Rosas fight sucked. Dober versus M. The first 2 fights on the main card were cool. After the shitty prelims, when we got these 2 fights, I was like, oh, we're actually going to have a good main card here. But, yeah, the rest of it was just, not even good. This was the weirdest fight of all time. Zhao Long had 2 points taken off him and still got robbed. I didn't even think that was possible. Johnson looked mid. Brundage looked like Brundage. He's probably going to get cut. I want to talk about this guy. Alberto Montes. I'll talk about this real quick. He did look good for his debut. Tercios isn't an easy guy to like look good against. He's a good you can beat. He's a very easy guy to beat, but it's awkward to look good against him just because of his style. But he won the first round easily. He looked good on the feet, and then as soon as they hit the mat, he got, I can't remember if it was an Anaconda or a Das. They looked the same. And he choked him out, put him to sleep. So that was impressive. He's literally Ilia from Venezuela. This fight was, I'm not even going to talk about it. Doesn't deserve to. Sumadachi looked pretty good against Aguilar, but Aguilar is probably the worst fighter I've ever seen. And these two fights just happened. I don't even need to talk about them. So yeah, that's basically the whole breakdown for the card. I don't even need to do another one. But yeah, Charles dominates Max, one fight away from the title again, and apparently you need to carry on fighting elite grapplers your whole career. Otherwise, shit like that's gonna happen with Max. Fought strikers for 10 years straight. Fought one grappler, got smoked. So yeah, I'll probably post another video later breaking down the White House card because that did get announced last night. Maybe not if I can be asked. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, Charles Oliveira.